Good afternoon. I'm still reporting on the economy from Los Angeles. Bill O'Reilly is just getting too big for his britches anymore, and his pal on Wednesday nights, Dennis Miller, used to be brilliant. Now he's just not. Last Wednesday, their anti-New World Order dialogue was particularly dumb.
Public policy polling, PPP. And I'm going to read the questions, and we'll put them on the screen, and Miller is going to comment. Right. Unbelievable. Okay. First question. This is to the American public. Do you believe that a secretive power elite with a globalist agenda is conspiring to eventually rule the world through an authoritarian world government or a new world order, or not? 28% do believe that, and all of them know Glenn Beck. 46% do not believe it. But I love this. 25% of Americans aren't sure.
That's because their brains have been scrubbed by their masters. Listen, everybody thought it was going to be the Bilderberg group. It turns out it's the Bloomberg group. You know what I mean?
The secret society,
they're too involved in our life. Can I believe this? Of course I can believe this. I got Biden in the on-deck circle. I can believe anything, for God's sake. At this point, I would take flatulent death robots from space.
Really? Is there anyone out there with an ounce of intelligent interest in current events who doesn't think the big bankers are trying to consolidate world power as they effectively have done in Europe just as fast as they can? Does anyone out there think this can possibly be a good thing? Most Europeans no longer feel they have control of their governance, and that is not a good thing. Certainly no American thought the New World Order was a good thing when President Franklin D. Roosevelt informed the American people that Adolf Hitler was behind it in a speech on October 27, 1941.
Hitler has often protested that his plans for conquest do not extend across the Atlantic Ocean, but his submarines and raiders prove otherwise. And so does the entire design of his new world order. For example, I have in my possession a secret map made in Germany by Hitler's government, by the planners of the new world order.
Perhaps O'Reilly and Miller have not seen this clip. But there are a few politicians who also still think the New World Order is just great.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order.
This, as the president pledged to shape, quote, a new international order.
So we have to shape an international order that can meet the challenges of our generation.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
The international order we seek is one that can resolve the challenges of our times.
So do these people believe this claptrap, or are they just reciting lines? I honestly don't know. But there is no question that something called the New World Order is out there. The only remaining question should be, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Most New World Order cheerleaders are swayed by the following line of reasoning. The cause of all wars is this old, outmoded concept of nationalism, national sovereignty. But once we can eliminate national borders and fold all nations into this one big world government, then we can eliminate the root cause of all wars, and then and only then can humanity go out and explore the stars. The Star Trek justification. In the next century, nations as we know it will be obsolete. All states will recognize a single global authority. National sovereignty wasn't such a great idea after all. The proponents are right about one thing. It would eliminate warfare, but at what cost? An ironclad, perpetual world dictatorship. The founding fathers of the United States distrusted consolidation of power. That's why the U.S. Constitution is based upon a concept that runs throughout the document without ever being mentioned in the document. That concept is the separation of powers concept, where competing powers would help keep America free. The founders knew that consolidated power would ultimately become corrupt. 100 years later, the British Lord Acton put it most succinctly, however. Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. In other words, there is no such thing as a benevolent dictator. That's why the founders spread the political power of the United States out not only among several competing branches of government, but among state governments as well. This makes the U.S. government very slow, very expensive, but relatively safe from a sudden coup d'etat mounted by a tyrant. The problem is that the monopoly capitalists, the money masters, have been very patient. They have slowly but surely used their great wealth to gradually neutralize the self-correcting, competitive blocks of power in the country, not just within the government, but in the media and even the academic community as well. Without the media and the academic community to sound the alarm, the politicians have no hope of standing firm for freedom, for effective self-governance. Harper's Magazine warned the nation in their July 1958 edition. They want to bring about the surrender of the sovereignty and the national independence of the U.S. They want to end national boundaries and racial and ethnic loyalties, supposedly to increase business and ensure world peace. What they strive for would inevitably lead to a dictatorship and loss of freedoms by the people into an all-powerful one-world government. A few years later, Senator Barry Goldwater explained in his autobiography that the Trilateral Commission, well known as a supporter of the transnational aspect of the New World Order, is intended to be the vehicle for multinational consolidation of the commercial and banking interests by seizing control of the political government of the United States. President Clinton's favorite professor, Carroll Quigley of Georgetown University, explained the money masters' agenda in stunning detail. The powers of financial capitalism had another far-reaching aim, nothing less than to create a world system of financial control in private hands, able to dominate the political system of each country and the economy of the world as a whole. This system was to be controlled in a feudalistic fashion by the central banks of the world acting in concert. The growth of financial capitalism made possible a civilization of world economic control and use of this power for the direct benefit of financiers and the indirect injury of all other economic groups. So this didn't happen overnight, but as long as the United States still has its Constitution, we still have a chance to claw self-governance back. But not as long as that government continues to borrow. Unfortunately, Mr. O'Reilly and Mr. Miller seem uninformed about the long history of this New World Order concept. We would love it if they would reconsider their positions. James Warburg, the son of Paul Warburg, the mastermind of the Federal Reserve System, darkly warned the U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee of the power of the New World Order push in public testimony given on February 17, 1950. We shall have world government whether or not you like it, by conquest or consent. So I wish I could report that the health of the sovereign nation state worldwide was good, but I can't. Human freedom is under direct attack, and the battle lines are over the sovereignty of the nation state and their independent state money systems. I'm still reporting on the economy from Los Angeles. Good day.